Welcome back to the Daily Move. We are on series number 3 for the running. What you are going to need is a foam roller or a ball to roll on. You're also going to need a step. Doesn't matter if it's some plates to step on or if it's just in the stairwell, either will work. And because it is week 3, if you have some weights and a band, I would go grab those as well just to increase the difficulty. All right, grab what you need. Let's get started here. So we're going to start out here with a minute of foam rolling on the hips. So here we're going in for different parts of the glute, wherever it is tightest on you. You can kind of explore by changing positions. And you can see here I'm giving you guys 2 different options. You can use a foam roller or you can use a ball. I prefer to use a ball to get into my glutes. I feel like the foam roller isn't hard enough in order to put pressure into there to start releasing the tissue. But some people may find the ball too intensive and the foam roller feels better. Okay, so you can switch sides here. So next we're gonna flip onto our stomachs to get into the quad here. So you can see the leg that I'm not working is bent up, and I'm using that leg to be able to move up and down on the foam roller, and the foam roller is on my other quad. So you can work around the knee, you can work up the thigh, or you can work right into the hip crevice where it attaches, wherever you feel like you need some work. Again, we're gonna do 45 seconds on one leg, and then we're gonna switch sides. So switching sides here. So next we're gonna go onto our back, and you wanna place the foam roller just below the shoulder blades. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna start opening up our upper back by allowing our head to slowly sink backwards. Then you're gonna do a slight little sit up, and then you're going to move the foam roller down the back. And then a little sit up, and then go to a third spot. And then I just repeat that one more time, going back to the shoulder blades, slowly leaning back, doing a slight sit-up, going to the next point, sinking backwards, and then to the last point again. Okay, foam roller goes away. So now we're gonna do a prisoner march. So you're gonna go into a squat here and you're taking very small steps to the side. Now, if you're finding this too easy, you can place a band around the knees as you perform this exercise. Just be mindful that the band isn't pulling the knees in, because otherwise that's going to cause some knee problems. You really want to push your knees out during this exercise and stay really low with the glutes. So make sure that you're squatting down the entire time, taking small little steps. So we're going for a full minute here. And the way that I timed this was 15 seconds in one direction, and then I would switch again. So that way I got 2 rounds in with the opposite leg leading. And if you're losing form, it's okay to stand up, shake it out, and then try again. So next we're gonna go into a front plank here. I'm on my elbows. Once you find a good plank position, you're gonna squeeze your glute to lift your leg up towards the ceiling. Be mindful when you do that you're not compensating where your back is. It should just be your glutes lifting up. If you focus on just lifting the leg up to the sky, you'll find that you're gonna pike up your body to be able to get more height, and that's not the purpose of this exercise. We are holding this plank for an entire minute, alternating sides. You can keep the leg up for as long as you want. I'm holding it for 3 seconds before I switch sides. Every time you lower that leg, just check in, reset that plank, tighten that core, and then focus on squeezing the glute before you lift up the leg. So next you're gonna find that step, and we're doing a hip hike here. So you'll notice that both of my knees stay straight as I do this. My hands are on my hip, and I'm bringing my hip bone up towards my rib cage. Now you can go slow with this, you can go a little quicker like I'm showing in this video. It's better to start slow until you've got good form before you speed it up. And you want to do anywhere from 8 to 12 repetitions before you switch sides. So here I'm switching sides. Again, both knees are staying straight, and I'm doing a hip dip and then a hip hike. So next we're going to do a posterior step down. So here I'm stepping up on my leg and I'm bending that knee, sending my hips down so that that back leg reaches towards the ground, and then I'm coming back up to standing. You want your hips to stay completely level here, so your spine shouldn't have any kind of side bend to it, and you shouldn't drop a hip like what we were doing in the first exercise. You wanna keep those hips level as you bend that knee and then try to get that other leg to tap down, but you don't want to rest. You should feel this in the glute of the leg that you're bending. And you'll notice here, I'm not really letting my knee dive too far. It should only go over top of my big toe. And then being mindful that I'm not letting that knee cave inwards. So if that was too easy for you, you can go grab some weights like I'm demonstrating with my second leg here. And we're doing the same exercise here. So bending that knee, You can see that my other foot barely taps the ground, so I'm not actually resting between the reps. And again, you should really feel this in the glute of the leg that is bending. So next we have a single leg deadlift. And I like doing it on a step because as you squeeze the glutes and come on up, you have some clearance for that other leg. Otherwise, you're kind of having to side bend your body so that your foot has some clearance. So if it's too easy without a weight, you're gonna grab a weight in one hand. And I'm using my other hand just to monitor that my hips stay even, that I'm not rotating open with that hip. When I come back down, I'm squeezing my glutes together to bring that leg forward. You want to do between 8 to 10 reps here before switching sides. You'll notice that my back is nice and flat. You don't want to round the back. Sometimes we get so fixated on how low that weight goes down towards our toe. That doesn't add anything to the exercise. We're just trying to hip hinge, squeeze the glutes, keep a tight core. So I'm switching sides here. So next what we're gonna do is we're gonna do some hopping here on the feet. Now you'll notice that I'm not bending my knees to jump. What I'm doing is I'm just putting pressure onto the pad of my foot and then I'm kind of skipping there. You can see the difference here where I'm bending my knees. That's not what we're going after. What we're trying to do is get the springiness through our ankle. So I set the timer here to do it for 45 seconds. Again, if you're losing form, I want you to stop right away. Just start getting a feel for how you're bouncing on the mid part of your foot. So next you're gonna need a chair or something to rest your knee on. We're doing a single leg hop here. So you can see that I'm really loading that standing leg and then I'm hopping up, using my arms to help drive that. And you want to perform between 6 to 10 repetitions here. Feel free to split them up. So if you want to do 3 on one leg, 3 on the other leg, and just keep going back and forth. So again, sinking my hips backwards and then exploding off that leg that's on the ground. So next what we're doing here is a diagonal bound. So you can see that I'm going forward and to the side, landing on one leg, seeing if I can maintain that stability, and then exploding to the next one. So be mindful of how you're landing. It should be a soft absorption, so you shouldn't really thump down. And when you create that control, nice tight abs, making sure that that knee doesn't dive in at all. And you want to keep your hips pretty level through this as well. So for this one here, I just set a timer for an entire minute. You could also count your reps and do between 16 to 20 hops. So this next one, you want a very light band right by your knees, and we're gonna go into a stationary lunge here. So you can see I really push my knees out, and I'm putting 60% of my body weight into the front leg, 40 into the back. And soon I'm gonna turn sideways so you can see that I'm actually straightening that back leg, putting all the pressure into that other leg. You should really feel that into the glutes, a little bit into the quad. And I'm performing 15 repetitions here. I always think about hitting my head for a soccer ball as I'm leaning forward with that motion. So once you've completed between 12 to 15 reps, you're gonna switch sides and do the same thing. So next you're gonna wanna grab that ball that you were foam rolling with earlier. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna pinch it between your heels. And then you're gonna perform some calf raises here. So you'll notice in order to keep that ball pressure there, you're gonna be putting more pressure onto the big toes as you go up into this calf. And this is very important for when we run, that we're pushing off the big toe. I like the fact that the dogs didn't come until the ball came out. Spidey senses. So in this demonstration here, I'm just going up and down. If you want to make this more challenging, stay up with the toes pointed, the heels up. If you hold that for 3 to 5 seconds when you get to the top, it will make it significantly more challenging. So for this next exercise here, you can use something like a hockey stick for balance. You can use the wall, or if you've got the strength, you can get rid of the stick completely. We're starting to learn how to do a pistol squat here. So really important that your hips stay level this entire time. I'm bending the knee, sending my hips back like I'm sitting into a chair, and then I'm bringing the leg forward and then flexing that kneecap when it gets up there. You can hold for a few seconds there. You'll find that very challenging. And because this is a harder exercise to do, I would recommend doing only between 4 to 8 repetitions. And instead of increasing the repetitions, see if you can actually hold the leg up there longer or up higher, or if you can sink your hips down even lower. So I'm switching sides here. So you can see I'm bending the knees, sending the hips back, and then lifting that leg forward, trying to contract my knee. So getting that quad to straighten out that leg as it swings out in front. So next we've got some soft landings here. So you can see I'm going to be taking one leg and kicking it forward. And then I'm landing with both feet nice and soft. Just learning how to absorb that kind of pressure. Alternating the legs that you're using to swing yourself off that platform. Your landing should be really soft. You shouldn't hear yourself land. So once you've done between 6 to 8 jumps, we're going to go into a side plank here, and we're just keeping the leg up. So you should feel this in your glutes. Both of them are working. The top glute is working in order to hold up the leg. The bottom leg is working for you to push against the floor. If this is too easy, you can always put a band around the knees, and I'll show that when I switch sides. And we're holding here for 45 seconds. So on the second side here, I'm showing what that looks like with that band around the knees. This makes it significantly more challenging. Now, something to be mindful here is also where your elbow is in relationship to your shoulder. They should be stacked right on top of each other. Don't let that band win. Keep kicking up towards the ceiling. And again, if you're finding this too challenging, just do it without the band. So next what we have here is kind of a butt kick, high knee hybrid. So you're seeing that I'm bringing the knees up and then I'm aiming to hit the heel towards my butt. We're gonna do this for 45 seconds. This is gonna start teaching the brain how to plant the foot when you are in your run. And it also gets the heart rate up. Drive that heel up towards the glute. Keep pumping those arms. All right, that's the end of that series. So grab your running shoes and head outdoors. Enjoy your running week. Bye, guys.